friends, it's Sin. I'm back to do another review of Married at First Sight, Season 11, Episode 7, The Honeymoon is Over. Alright y'all, this was a pretty good episode. This is when the couples get back from the honeymoon and they're moving into their new apartments. You know, anytime people are moving into apartments and we get to see the real them, get to the nitty gritty, it be getting juicier. So I'm gonna start off with Amelia and Bennett. They go into their apartment. Bennett is having a giddy fit. He is just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Like, this is so weird. We're moving in together. Ha ha ha. Oh my gosh, it was cracking me up. But they both like the apartment a lot. And then they also go see each other's apartments. Amelia lives in this really huge house with a bunch of roommates. It's not like super clean. It's not bad looking. It's just like a little messy, and you know, so it looks fine. She has a small room. She shows Bennett the room and he really likes her house. He's like, it's really big. But I'm just afraid she might not like my house because it's not extravagant like this. He also says that he lives in like a tiny house and that he doesn't have a mature relationship with money. I'm like, is that another way to say he broke? Like, is he trying to say it nicely, like I'm broke? Or he's trying to say he doesn't spend his money well? I think it's both. He don't spend it well and he broke. But they go to his tiny house. It's actually super cute, the tiny house. The inside, he needs to like get it together. Just stuff is everywhere. But Amelia loves it. She's like, oh my God, it's so cute. You built this house on your own, which he did, which that's cool too. And she just thinks it's really adorable. So clearly she really likes the house and it made him so happy because he was afraid she wasn't gonna like it. Oh, and he needs to dust in there too. He was trying to show Amelia different things. He was picking them up. He was trying to show them to her. And he's like, dust them off his hands, dust everywhere. I'm like, boy, you need to get a duster. Because the dust, it's a lot going on in here. But they go back to their apartment and they end up getting a meeting with Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal meets with all the couples this episode. And he just wants to see what's going on with them, how's intimacy and everything. And they're saying, you know, that they haven't had sex yet, but they do really like each other. They both find each other really attractive. And they tell Pastor Cal that they met each other before. And he's like, oh, this might have been destiny. His face cracked me up because he looked so surprised. He's like, did we actually match people that belong together? We're so incompetent. How could we do that? Did destiny come in the way? I feel like that was the face he was giving us. He's like, oh shoot, we might have really done a thing here. But the issue that comes up is Amelia might have to move for residency. And Pastor Cal's just like, would you be okay with that, Bennett? He's like, I'm not really sure. I gotta figure out what my priorities are. And I'm like, ooh, look, see, y'all ain't perfect. Y'all ain't, because I said this was gonna come back up. Pastor Cal was telling them that you're not gonna agree on everything. And y'all are gonna have to figure out this situation if you have to move. And Bennett is like, yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. No, that's not good. It's not good to cross the bridge when you get there. It's better to prepare for it. I hate people say that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Now, now, if you go into a bridge and you're supposed to pay a toll, and you get there and you're prepared for it, now you got no toll money, now what's gonna happen? You done got to the bridge, you're not prepared. Exactly why. You should be figuring out what you're gonna do before you get to the dang bridge. So he needs to do that. But I understand that why he wouldn't want to do it so soon. Like, they are only married for like 10 days, but he did know he was getting into a marriage. And I do not think the experts would have matched him if they knew that he didn't want to move. I bet they had asked, were people okay with moving? Because they knew Amelia would be able to have to move. And I'm pretty sure he'd probably say, yeah, I'm fine with it. And that happens on Married at First Sight. People will say they're fine with moving, and then they don't move with anyone. Like, they get upset if someone wants to move. Or they'll say, I'm fine with traveling, but they get upset when people have to travel for work a lot. But, yeah, that's it with them. They'll have to figure out this move situation. They're still cute, but they need to figure out this one little issue, because it could blow up. It's a serious thing. Then we're going to talk about Miles and Karen. So they move into their new apartment as well, because everybody's moving in, and they like the apartment, think it's cute. Karen does have an interview with the cameras and the producers, and she does say that she really does want to get into a daily routine, see what life is like. Karen wants to know what Miles is like when he isn't on vacation, and when they're in regular life, you know, she just wants to know that. So they do go to each other's houses. She goes to Miles' house. She was afraid it was going to be messy because Miles' father, being a mess that he is, told her that he's not clean. But his house is clean. Like, you could tell he's clean. His surfaces are clean. He's just messy. Like, his bedroom got clothes and shoes everywhere. You know, he needs to get that part together. But, like, cleanliness, like his counters, it's not like dishes in the sink, it's not dirt on the floor. So I think he was doing fine. He has an insane amount of shoes. My gosh, like, I need to have as much shoes as him. I'm still side-eyeing Karen from last episode when she said that he's not masculine because he's depressed. So, well, because he has depression. So I'm coming into this episode real iffy about her. Like, I always wanted them to work, but that statement really made me upset. So I'm like, I got to side on her. Like I always say about Woody. That's how I am with Karen right now. But I am going to say it was super cute when Miles, before he showed her his shoes in his closet, he was like, look, okay, just picture what you think my shoes are. He was putting his hands on his head, putting his hands on her head. Just picture what you think it is, and then we'll go look at it. I just thought they looked adorable. Like, they just were looking more coupley in that moment. And I just thought it looked super cute. And I'm like, I could see that they would look like a nice couple. But Karen is going to have to remove these trash, toxic thoughts from her mind about what masculinity is. And saying that masculinity and depression don't go together. Like, I just gonna need her to literally get her life together because the statements are trash. Then they do go to Karen's house. She got a whole bunch of clothes and shoes too. So they a match made with too much clothes, that's for sure. They gonna need like 3 closets with all the clothes and shoes they got. But they do meet with Pastor Cal later, and they're sitting on the couch, and Pastor Cal just asking them how things are going, what type of needs do they need, how's the relationship. Karen's expressing that, you know, it just feels like it's not a marriage still, he's still a stranger. And Pastor Cal's looking like, girl, he is not a stranger, that's your goddamn husband. He don't like when people call their husband strangers. I feel like he feels like it's a barrier to them getting closer into intimacy. So he's like, girl, you better stop. But she's just like, yeah, she repeats that she wants to get into a routine and that will be better, you know, and she'll get to see who he really is. And she says that she's afraid that Miles, he says he's this person, he puts out this person, and he says all the right things, but is that him? And Pascal's like, girl, what? Like, we picked him for a reason for you. He got a heart-sized Louisiana. This man is actually a good person. It's not jokes. We know he's nice. And Miles really does seem like a really good person, honestly. So, yeah, she got them walls up, definitely. And she does say, and she starts crying, that she's afraid she won't be able to trust him because she had a relationship where she couldn't trust her last relationship. And I honestly think that relationship affected her too much for her to be on the show and get married right now. I'm not saying that people can't be affected by a relationship. That's okay. And you need time to maybe get over that person and like heal yourself and not think that everyone isn't trustable. I don't think she got that time to heal from that relationship. Like how Olivia said she waited a while to date and everything. I just don't think she has. And I don't think they should have threw her on Married at First Sight. I truly don't think that she is ready to be in a marriage. So this is definitely their fault for throwing her in here. She shouldn't have signed up for it either. And it could be possible that her walls will come down. But this just seems like, I don't know. I really don't know. And Miles is just like, yeah, sometimes I put my feelings on the back burner because I really want the relationship to work and I really care about a lot of people. So I always put my feelings last. And Karen does say to him, which is good, to not do that. She wants him to express how he really feels so that their relationship can work and she'll know what he really feels like. And it won't be just him trying to please her and not care about his own feelings. He definitely needs to do that. It's not a relationship where it's just for her to be happy. He needs to be happy too. And that will just get them into a bad situation. If he doesn't like put his feelings on the forefront, and he doesn't make his feelings important, it's not going to be good. Not at all. So I am glad she said that. Besides that, they do say they're both attracted to each other. And Miles is like, yeah, of course I'm attracted to Karen. Look at her. And Karen's like, yeah, I think he a cutie. And he all smiling. I'm like, boy, stop. Miles, no, he fine. I don't think I mentioned last review that he was fine. I said I wasn't going to say it every one. I said I wasn't, and I didn't say it last time. But that's really it with them. They're like, Karen has walls up. She has been hurt previously. She do not think she can trust him. She thinks basically he's lying because she's just like, I've had the nice things said to me before, and I don't know. And Miles, like, literally out here pouring his heart out. He's like, no, when I tell you this is how I feel, it is the truth. I am here. Like, I am staying here. I care about your feelings. She's just sitting there looking like, do you? Because I don't believe you. Yeah, she got trust issues for sure. So we'll just see how this goes. We need Miles to definitely keep his feelings in the forefront, tell the truth about how he feels. And Karen is going to have to get more comfortable with Miles and be able to trust him more. They have only known each other for 10 days. So I can understand somebody doesn't trust someone immediately, but she clearly has trust issues from her previous relationship that should have been worked out before she was on Married at First Sight. Then it's Christina and Henry, and they get to their new apartment, and Christina doesn't like it. She complained about everything. She's like, oh, I don't like how it is here. I don't like it. And she's just looking at different things. They look at the guest bedroom. She's like, ugh. What cracked me up is that when she was like, I don't like it, Henry goes to the guest bedroom and takes the door and closes it slightly and just looks strange. I don't know why that part was so funny to me. It was like he was just felt awkward in the situation. Like, he's like, the house looks fine, the apartment's cute, and you complain for no reason. I don't like it, I don't like it. Let's just shut that door a little bit. Like, I don't know. I was cracking up. I'm like, Henry cracks me up. He really does. But they go see each other's apartments. Kind of. Let's get into that, right? They go see Henry's apartment. She's like, oh, Henry's a minimalist. He don't got much going on in his house. Blah, 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 right? But he takes some stuff. And then he's like, all right, let's go to your apartment, Christina. She's like, oh, yeah, I mostly, have all my stuff in my car. I'm like, like, what is happening? Henry's like, maybe I misunderstood her at the wedding because she told me a specific area of Louisiana she lived in. And they replayed the clip. She did, but she was kind of like fumbling and tripping over her words. And this is not like about shaming anyone that don't have a place to live. It's not about that, because that's terrible if you don't have somewhere to live and you living out of your car. But what I feel like Christina is doing is she has somewhere to live, but she don't want to show Henry or Lifetime. So she's just like, oh, most of my stuff is in my car. And maybe she don't think it's up to par to be on TV. Also, I mean, it's possible she's living out of her car because she says she's a flight attendant. But I just feel like even if she is living out of her car, you're super judgmental to Henry. Talk about his house and all of that, and you just talk about, oh, all my stuff in my car. So what you want him to say about you? You want to talk about his house, and you couldn't even show your apartment because you're talking about all your stuff in your car. Christina, you are so annoying. And always talking about, oh, I jet set and I do this, and I have friends around the world. Girl, I'm gonna need her to get it together. I really am. You know she got money from being a flight attendant. But yeah, I just feel like she didn't want to show them her apartment. Or what if that guy she had broken up with, she didn't get an apartment after that? Like, maybe they were living together. I don't know, something shady is going on with this whole she's not showing her apartment business. It's really weird. And I just feel like she didn't want to show where she was living because something strange going on, y'all. But Christina does have her interview with the camera, and she's like, yeah, I just hope things get better now that we're in our own house, and he makes a move or something. And then she just sit there with little dead eyes. Like, they kept the camera there long, so she's like, make a move or something. I was like, oh gosh, like, yeah, this is a mess. Like, she really wants him to make a move. He's not making a move. If this relationship is just not gonna work. We already know that though, because I've said that before. But if she wanted to make a move so bad, honestly, I feel like she should make a move. Like, it's not that serious. But they do have their like interview session with Pastor Cal. And she is talking about how, she would like things a different way. And Pastor Cal's like, Henry, she is trying to tell you, like that if you stepped up, if you make a move, things would be different. And Henry is getting uncomfortable again. His face is twitching like I had mentioned before. You can see that that's something that happens when it's too much, like the situation's too much for him. His face was twitching like he was going like that while they kept bringing up making a move on Christina. And Clearly, this is making him uncomfortable, and it's like, it's so strange that they don't realize what makes people uncomfortable. How is it his job to make a move when she the one want the move made? I'm gonna need somebody to make it make sense. And Christina's like, I'm just not used to this. I'm used to men saying, you're the most beautiful woman in the world, and then we date for 4 years. I was like, girl, what? And Pastor Cal was looking like that. What's a strange thing to say? It was very specific. That was your ex. You're talking about your literal ex-boyfriend. Don't bring that up, girl. Like, don't just bring up a very specific situation. That don't happen every time. Like, I need her to stop. When Pastor Cal asks about chemistry, Henry does say, like, yeah, he felt like maybe it could be some chemistry. And he says this whole song analogy, which is hilarious. He's like, sometimes you listen to a song and you like it immediately. You know, the chemistry's there and then it fizzles out. Other times, you know, you got to listen to a song more. And then you're like, oh, yeah, this is my jam. I thought it was hilarious. Pastor Cal and Christina were looking like, what the F is he talking about? But he does admit, he's like, listen, I get a more friendship vibe with Christina. There's things about her I don't like. She is impatient. She is high maintenance. And he don't like those things about her. So she was kind of looking like, oh, all right. But Pastor Cal is still trying to push the whole, like, you make the move and it'll be fine. But how he gonna make a move on somebody that he just said they kind of annoy him and he see them more like a friend? You know? So, like, clearly their personalities clash. And it's just that Henry ain't really feeling her like that. That's what it is. Now he done admitted it. He not really with it. Not only does he like moving slow, but he also just like, I don't like her like that, y'all. Like, can y'all stop pressuring me? I don't like the girl like that. Her personality annoying. And it is. So, honestly, I think that they should try to live together for a little bit. But if they see this isn't going well and it seems like more of a friendship vibe, I think they shouldn't stick the whole 10 weeks, whatever it is they do. They shouldn't stick the whole season out because it's pointless to do. It really is. But, you know, that's it with them. A mess. Y'all. Then it's Brett and Olivia. I'll save the two messiest people for last. Brett and Olivia and Woody and Amani are two last couples I'm doing, and they were a mess this episode. So we're going to start off with Brett and Olivia. So, you know, moving to the new apartment like everybody else. And they go to each other's apartments. First, they go to Olivia's apartment. She's just like, yeah, I eventually want us to move into my apartment. I love it. And how she got this weirdly pink bathroom. The tiles are all pink. The tub is pink. And I was looking like, yeah, girl, no, that bathroom look a mess. Y'all would have to redo that. And Brett thought the same thing. Brett is like, it looks like Barbie up in this bathroom. Like, girl, no. So he wasn't feeling the apartment that much. I think he especially didn't like the bathroom, but as a whole, he just was like, yeah, it's all right. But he was being judgmental. Like, he was like, oh, when people rent, they're just throwing their money away. So, renters, who are those type of people? Oh, we don't do that around here. That was the vibes he was giving off. So then they go to his house. He owns a house. He's really proud to own a house, which he should be. He's like, I may not make that much money, but I got a house. So they go in. I think his kitchen's really nice, but he has this little divider, and behind the divider is all these tools. It is so junky. I'm gonna need, he don't have a shed or a garage or a basement. He needs to put those tools somewhere else and have them look better, because a divider in your kitchen for a bunch of tools looks a mess. Then he had some other like workstation area. It looked terrible. And then he had his little like computer area. And Olivia was like, why would you need a computer that big? I was like, girl, is it really that serious? Why does it matter that his computer is big? Y'all know I don't like Brett, but I just thought it didn't matter. Who cares that he has a big computer screen? I don't understand. Or a computer. And then she says like, oh, he must be a gamer. Maybe she's against gamers or something, because she was really not happy about that computer being big. The whole time Olivia's in his apartment, she's looking hella awkward. Like, she don't want to be there. She doesn't really like it. It's so obvious she is unimpressed. So, like, both of them were unimpressed with each other's house and apartment. But the vibe inside of Brett's house was, like, just awkward. And it's really hurt Brett's feelings. We know Brett get his feelings hurt easily. We've seen that when they was on a honeymoon and she rated them a 7. So, he's talking to the camera. He's like, she just didn't seem happy to be in my apartment. Well, happy to be in my house. And honestly, you know, that hurt my feelings, or that made me feel bad. He said something like that. So I'm like, oh boy, he about to be real upset. But he forgets that when he was in Olivia's apartment, he wasn't too happy to be there either. And he said she just threw her money away because she rents. So y'all both a mess, right? So then they have their I keep calling it interview. Then they have their meeting with Pastor Cal. It all breaks loose up in the meeting. Olivia's like, I'm just worried that I got into a marriage to explore things, to travel, to go out to eat, to go to, she mentioned, I think, some type of baseball game. I forgot the team. I don't watch baseball. And she's like, those are the things I want to do with my husband. Like, I want to do that stuff, right? And Brett is like, well, would you be footing the bill? I was like, oh, excuse me? I'm like, well, dang. He's like, this just doesn't go into my budget. Her telling me we should be doing this, that's not part of my budget. She's trying to ruin my retirement over frivolous things. I'm like, oh my God, like this is getting intense. It's getting intense because he knows he doesn't make enough money, and this makes him very insecure. This definitely makes him insecure. I feel like there's a way to go to some things. I feel like he could be like, yeah, we can go to some places. Maybe he doesn't have money to go to all of them, but he's not trying to be reasonable at all. There's a compromise. He has no compromise. Just, we're not doing it, or you just have to pay for everything. Boy, what? No. And he says to Olivia, like, do you even know what a budget is? He's being hella rude, hella defensive. So Olivia started getting mad. She's like, how you gonna say I don't know what a budget is? I did say I have issues budgeting, but I thought you would help me with that. It's just like, it feels like she explained something to him that he was supposed to help her with, and then he used it against her to kind of just as a weapon against her. Oh, you don't even know how to budget. Why are you trying to go hang out? Like, stop. She's like, I pay all my bills, boy. Do you see my bills? He's like, did you see my bills? I'm like, oh, this is getting, this is getting too much. Now we talk about who bills is paid. Like, this is getting petty. But it all started because Brett was being rude. And Pastor Cal's just like, all right, calm down. He really do see Brett as the issue. He like, look, Brett, why are you acting this way? Like, she's saying one thing, but what do you feel like she's saying? He's like, she's saying that I'm going to have to do these things and I'm not going to have retirement. No, you're insecure about not being able to do the things she wants to do. So it feels better to just say, oh, we can't do those things because that'll ruin my retirement. And it feels better to say, oh, you should really learn how to save because you don't know how to budget or save and you throw your money away. That's what he wants to do. If things aren't the way he likes them, which is so obvious the type of person he is, he gets super upset. Olivia's crying. He gets up to give her a tissue, but like, it's just foolish. They need to just stop. They end up just like sitting there and acting like things will be okay, kind of. But it's so obvious that this is just not gonna work. It's not. And Pastor Cal knows he shouldn't have matched them, so don't be sitting there looking surprised when they crumbling before your eyes, man. Like, that don't make no sense, okay? It don't. Lastly is Amani and Woody, and Amani is afraid things will change, you know, now that they're gonna be back in regular life. She wants it to still be good for them to have a nice relationship and be happy. So, you know, they move to an apartment, they go look at each other's apartments, that goes well. Woody lives with his grandmother, and that's all fine. Then they go meet with Pastor Cal, because this is the real, like, nitty-gritty of what's going on with them. And they're just discussing things. Pastor Cal's like, how's it going, intimacy-wise? They do tell him that they had sex already, and that they really are enjoying each other. And Woody says that he really liked that Amani was very honest, and he loves that about her, and they're both attracted to each other. So they had a lot of good things to say about each other when, you know, this whole meeting starts. But then Pastor Cal's like, are y'all using protection? And they gonna start laughing. Y'all, my mouth dropped. I said, wait, what? Are y'all trying to have another Married at First Sight reunion, baby? Like, stop. Y'all need to get it together. And Amani's like, yeah, he was trying to have a honeymoon baby. Pastor Cal was like, that's sweet, and ridiculous. Like, stop it. And Amani, no, girl. I know it's your husband, but you don't want to have no baby right now, girl, no. Because first of all, we still side-eyeing Woody. And the more this episode go on, I'm like, boy, what? So, girl, no. Make sure y'all use protection. We've seen this happen twice on Married at First Sight. Getting goddamn reunion babies. At a reunion telling everybody they're pregnant. Stop. Just stop it. So, Pastor Cal just asked, like, what's some things they would like, you know, to see in a relationship. But he's like, I wanted to us to run things past each other before we make big decisions. I don't like surprises. Okay. All right. That's whatever. But then he brings up, he's like, yeah, like if she wants to cut off her hair off, I just would have liked to been told before so that I don't come home and have a surprise. Now, just saying, like, that wasn't weird to me. Told before. Like, hey, gonna cut my hair off today. Just want to let you know so you're not surprised. Probably gonna cut it and dye it, and then we're gonna see it's gonna be cute. But he was really kept going back and forth like, no, this has to be a discussion. Because what if this changes her appearance? And what if this changes my attraction to her? We need to discuss those type of things before she goes and does it. I'm like, excuse me? Discuss her head on her hair and you're gonna make a decision about it? He out his goddamn mind. Ooh, I was heated. That made me upset. It really did. He really kept saying like, and will I still be attracted to you? And Amani's like, so it's just about physical attraction. You don't just be attracted to people for other reasons. And you really would say if I was bald, you wouldn't be attracted to me? He's like, well, that's why we would have to discuss it before. No. Her telling you before and discussing in a manner where you make the decision don't make no sense. She was like, look, I make decisions for myself. It's my hair and stuff, and you wouldn't be able to tell me what to do. And it's really like this whole back and forth thing. He just keeps saying, yeah, well, we would have to see if I was still attracted. Pastor Kyle's looking like, boy, shut the F up. He like, so what if she get alopecia and she don't have no hair? Oh, that's different. That's different. Then I would still be attracted and love her. But she would still be bald. So she would have to get, like, that doesn't make any sense. Pascal's like, so it's like you just want the control over it. It's not about how she's gonna look. You want control. Like, he's really making a big deal out of her cutting her hair and how he wouldn't be attracted to her. That's such trash. That's trashy. And you really admitting it's like that makes actual sense. Amani was getting really upset because she's like, who does he think he is? Oh, rightfully so. She should be upset. And it was really ridiculous. He was like, so what if I just decided to quit my job and didn't tell you? I was like, oh, he is really, really playing himself. Quitting your job before you told your wife, no, that's a decision you would make together. Cutting your hair, your own hair, what? So if he decided to shave all his hair bald, he had to tell her before? He never said nothing about that. Why would it matter? Even if he said, hey, I'm going to shave my hair bald today. And she said, all right, whatever. But she shouldn't be the deciding factor of why he shaves his head or not. And he's really getting on my nerves. And I'm telling you, I was like, yeah, I want them to be happy and everything. But these are just showing signs of just stuff not going to be going well. If he wants to be controlling aspects of her life, he don't control her. Y'all are married. Just stop. And Pastor Cal tries to dig deeper and find out, like, why would he be saying these type of things? And he's just like, okay, I had a previous relationship where the woman was pregnant and she didn't tell me about it and she got an abortion. And I wanted to be able to be part of that decision or at least be there for her when she had the abortion. I understand that he would want to be there with her when she had the abortion. I can understand that, yes. But these two situations do not equate. They do not. You wanted to be there with someone that had an abortion. You wanted to be able to, like, know what was happening. Okay. You want to decide whether somebody can cut their hair off or not? No. You don't control people's lives. And I feel like he chose this story about how someone didn't tell them they were getting an abortion to make it seem like, to get people back on his side. To, like, charm us into thinking, look, this is the deep root of the issue. But it's not. You have a control problem. And men who think they can control how their wives or girlfriends look get on my effing nerves. Like, you cannot control how she's gonna look. Your attraction is based on her hair. You're so superficial and trash. Like, what? So she has braids today. What if and then she had her hair out before. Does that matter to you? You know, it's just like, it's so ridiculous. And they end up, like, letting it go. She's like, oh, after she hears about the abortion story, she's like, no, I understand. You know, I just thought it was just about, like, you telling me what I could do with my hair. And he's like, no, it's not that. Girl, yes, it is. He is tricking you. That is what it is. If you came home tomorrow with your hair shaved off, he wouldn't want to be with you. And that's alarming. You need to go. So we got two people that I thought were gonna work out. It's like I was always side-eyeing Woody, but I just feel like this is showing things to a path of not a good path. Same with Karen. I thought her and Miles were looking good, but after the last episode with her saying those things about masculinity, Woody and Karen say things that shouldn't be said or thought, and it's just. It's trash. They literally say trash stuff, and I'm not with it. So they're gonna have to do a personality and thought adjustment for these marriages to work, the two of them. And it's weird because I love Amani. She's adorable. She deserves a great person, and I love Miles. He's sweet, and handsome. So it's just like, y'all could have did better for them. I'm mad. I really am. I want to see how these go. Like, it is possible for people to grow and become better people, to be confronted with things that they shouldn't be saying or doing, and to really be like, you know what, you're right. That is trash. Like, dang, I'm trash. Like, why was I doing that or saying that? And I really need to look at that and change. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know if they would be the type of people to do that. There's nothing wrong with admitting that what you said or did was wrong and really thinking about why that's bad and really, like, getting into it. I don't see them doing that, though. I think Woody really thinks he's right, and I think Karen is wrapped up in this whole masculinity thing. And, you know, Karen got trust issues, so, like, this is a lot. It's a lot, y'all. Right now, I don't know. I really think Amelia and Bennett are still gonna make it. And I honestly think that Karen, Miles, and even Woody and Imani are still gonna say yes in the end. I think all three of them will say yes. Are these all gonna be great marriages when they all say yes, is my question. We will see. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode. Y'all tell me what y'all thought, because this is the end of my recap and review of Married at First Sight. Season 11, Episode 7, The Honeymoon is over. It is for sure over. These people are a mess. I will see y'all in my next one. Bye.